Well, hello, beauty. Welcome to the Power Shift. And this is an amazing place to come and visit, to be a part of this community as it's growing by the day. The Power Shift is all about awareness, and at its base is personal power. That is the foundation of manifestation of all of your desires. We have to have that awareness of the power within us. Because we might get signals of it, but we often kind of put it aside because we're busy and we need to stay in our brain and think things through, right? So I've often thought about this one thing, and it's a big part of what I teach and coach and write about. And it's like for centuries, really, especially the most recent few decades. And we have been taught that all we need to do is change our mind and we'll change our life, change our thoughts and we'll change our life, change our stories and we'll change our life. However, when we are all caught up in all that thought, how do we change it? How do we drop down from that spinning thing where we are ruminating about the past, whether it was early in the morning or yesterday or 10 years ago or way back to our childhood? And we tend to repeat, what we could have done, would have done, shouldn't have done, what they did, what, didn't do, all of that. And then really worrying about the future, whether it's just later in the day, tomorrow, next week, or next year, but down the road, oh my God, what's going to happen? What if, right? And mixed in with all of that is our self-doubt about our self-worth. I'm not good enough. I can't do that. It it is just mind-boggling to me that we can read these things that say just change your thought. And trust me, I spent years doing that, and it really did help. It helped me live within the circumstances I was in, but I didn't get to a breakthrough. I had little ones. I really did. I did progress. And in my career as a hairstylist and colorist, I really, flourished. It was amazing how incredible success with amazing people to work with and to work for and work on, and travel and education and so much and beautiful, big salary, income. And oh, but there was something missing. And inside, I was a wreck. Anxiety, big time, worried about my future, mad at myself for my past. And I write a lot about it in that book you see behind me, The Woo Woo Way, Unblock Your Chakras, Transform Your Life. I wrote that to make it easy for people to understand the energy system within their bodies. And so that's what that's about. And I, came right out and called it woo woo because that's what people were telling me I was doing when I started to embrace the idea of EFT tapping, let alone chakras and shadows and everything else. But I wrote it in a way that anyone can understand, anyone can grab a hold of it and work with it. So within it are my life stories. They start the chapters, and you can see from the examples, whether they're the funny ones or the kind of heart-wrenching ones, you will see examples of how you can get stuck and you can get blocked within your energy system and why that happens and how that happens. And then I give some lessons about it to explain it, to show you the shadows in that area, and then also the gifts that the shadows bring us. Those parts of us that we deny and we push down, that we don't want to think about, talk about, that's where the most powerful gifts are. This is fantastic. And so then at the end of those chapters, towards the end, is another story, but it's kind of a case study with a client, and I've put them in witness protection so that they might recognize their story, but no one else will. I've changed everything about them, from who they are, the people that are in their lives, their careers, all of that. It's all different. But the lesson comes through, and we do actual tapping within those sessions that I write about. So it's really great. But it's set up in um, the idea of renovating a house, and it's the internal house of you. And we start at the foundation of the house, which is the root. That is where, I mean, how could you build a house without your foundation, right? It will not last, it will not hold. In fact, when I moved back up north from Savannah, Georgia, and the house I was in, they were building new houses, and I could see how they were mounding up masses of soil and dirt stuff before they put the foundation in. They mounded it high and they got it down, and then they built the foundation because the ground wasn't steady enough to just build it there. The water table's really, they're not very far above sea level. So, the idea is you need that foundation before you can do anything else to have a sturdy, safe, and secure home. So your root chakra, or your foundation, is the center for your safety and security. And it's why we have to start there. So part of my job is to help you feel safe enough to tap into the things that are truly bothering you and to break through what's been blocking your progress, to stop the repetitive cycles of things. Why does that same kind of person keep coming into my life? Why does that same kind of job keep happening? Why, right? So I just want you to understand the foundation of manifestation begins with you and your personal power to recognize that within you is everything you need. And it really is just like the Wizard of Oz and those beautiful, sparkly ruby shoes. Dorothy had it in her the whole time. Click those heels and go home. It's in you. So this is why I want you to stick with me, because I'm going to show you step by step all the ways you can use tapping and other energy medicine type processes to anchor yourself in safety and move through the level system of your body, of your entire self, which includes your aura and your ethereal presence that goes way further out than you could ever imagine. And then you can bring into you and you can step into your next phase by being safe first. So let's end this particular episode. Let's just call this episode 1 of personal power awareness and do a little bit of tapping to feel that anchoring. Okay, are you with me? And just follow along. And if you would like to really learn more, there's more on the YouTube channel, of course, but also the link to my website. It's easy, sandyevenson.com. You can download the freebie that I put all the links. I really try to make sure that my show notes have all those links there as well. If you just go to the website, there's more there. But there's a link for free download that gives you a little mini video of what is tapping anyway, how to tap, and then tapping for stress and anxiety. And I added an additional bonus one that you can tap along with that's really a bit deeper on recognizing where you hold your stress, how intense it is on a daily average basis, and tapping through that to lower that. So it's really very valuable and it's always there for you. But I invite you to download it and you can follow along with the video and then just pop your earbuds in to follow along. And eventually you won't need to watch or listen anyway because you will have figured it out. You will have learned it because it's so simple. It's all you need are your fingertips. And of course, responsibility for your own well being. Please reach out if anything comes up for you, comment. And, I want to thank you right now for helping this channel grow and for helping me bring this potent mind body tool and all this information out to the world by sharing, liking, subscribing. Hit that bell so you always know when it comes on. And I'm just truly blessed to be here and to share this with you. So let's do a little bit of tapping now. Take a nice breath. Place your hand on your heart. Put your feet flat on the floor if you're able. Just wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. If there's an area in your body that you felt the stress today, place your hand there if you can. Or you can just rest it on your abdomen or in your lap. Rest the other hand there and keep your hand on your heart for just a moment. So as you breathe in through your nose, we're going to breathe in for about the count of 4, going at your own pace, and out for 6 or longer, always aiming to exhale a little bit longer. So inhale in, pause, exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale, pause, exhale. And you can add a little vocal ah. Now, on this one, imagine that it's as if your heart is breathing for you, and you're breathing into your heart, bringing in love and light from source. Exhale, releasing toxic negativity, and keep breathing into the heart and feel your belly rise now. Your chest is filling up and down. And we're going to begin to tap. We'll start on the side of the hand. And you may know from previous videos, I don't always start here. I start here if I'm working with you and our anxiety or other stress levels are high. We'll start here and then go around. So I'm just going to allow you to take this moment to bring your level down a notch on the side of the hand and repeat after me. Even though I do feel some stress, I'm open to releasing at least some of it now. I have all this stress in my body that tightens my muscles. I'm open to allowing relaxation now. And even though I am so worried, I'm ready and willing to feel some safety now. And then we go to the eyebrow. And if ever there's a word that doesn't resonate, substitute your own. And if I say ready and that you don't feel ready, use a different word because your subconscious mind will not allow you to be ready until we get that level down. So it can be, I would really like to be ready. Side of the eye. I would love to be open to relaxation. Under the eye. I invite calmness now. Under the nose. I have been so tense. Chin. It's been really hard. Collarbone. And I'm just going to honor how stressed I am. Underarm. I'm just going to honor how much I've been through. Top of the head. And I honor how much I'm going through. Let's go around one more time. All the stress in my body. Side of the eye. Stress and anxiety. Under the eye. Worry. Into the nose. Fretting about all the what ifs. Chin. Asking for some calmness. Collarbones. Open to feeling safe. Underarm. Inviting some safety. Top of the head. Anchoring in. Ready and open to release stress. All right, now take a breath. Feel into your body. Do you feel a bit more calm? I didn't have you take a number and decide how high and intense you were. I just wanted you to feel how you can relax yourself in any moment. If you're the same or you feel like you got triggered up because you hit something, you just hit something, really. You hit something that you need to keep going on, and you can stay right on the collarbone like that or back on the side of the hand. Keep going and invite some calm. And when you're ready, if you wish, you can add positive affirmations. But you don't have to fix it. You can stay with, I'm just going to honor how I feel. This has been really hard. And I don't know how I'm going to make it, but I'm open to finding a way. Okay, take another breath, and you can keep tapping as I just finish up here. I want you to know that you never have to fix it. You literally just tap on whatever's in your mind, whatever's going on. When I was going through some real intense stuff, I would just be, oh, I'm so frustrated. I'm so frustrated. I would, the more stressed I was, the faster I'd tap. And eventually it would start to calm down and I could slow down. And the more stressed you are, the slower you really want to go. But sometimes you can't. You just got to go with what's there and say what's on your mind. And really say it. Say it out loud. That is the best connection when you can say it out loud. You can say it to yourself, whisper, scream if you have to, yell into a pillow. Getting in your car and parking in a safe space can be a great spot to do that. You can yell and scream and tap. It's that easy. But as you do it, what will happen, and it happens quite quickly, you will begin to feel a shift within your body. And you may have a heavy sigh. You may have a tear, a yawn, lots of tears, sneeze, any other sounds coming from you, any other feelings like tingles, all sorts of stuff can happen. You will just notice that it's not so tight and intense. That's when you know you have come down. And just at that point, just say, I'm just going to honor how I feel. I did that a lot. I'm just going to honor how frustrated I am and let it go. And I promise you, your day will go better. So the more often you can do it, you can literally walk around doing this. And I've done a couple of videos on stealth tapping, so no one else knows you're doing it, but we can do some more. Um, and just to give you a synopsis of other things that we'll be talking about, we can get into health and vitality and longevity and working with, weight management. And, there's a true difference between cravings and emotional eating, and there's a whole tapping sequence around that. There's a beautiful, beautiful process around it, especially the cravings. And then there's body confidence, and there's all sorts of things around why we have this about us when it comes to food. And trust me on this, I've been through it and I still go through it sometimes because it is so powerful to find it, to go back in your childhood is where a lot of it comes from, most of it. And it's just reinstated throughout our lives for some other things that happen to us. Because every time we get triggered, it's not the same, but it's similar. And emotional eating is a big one. And I do cravings and emotional eating. Their cravings are around more the love that's in the food, and the emotional is not. And when you give yourself permission to go there, you stay safe while you're tapping and you're observing. You're not re-experiencing, you're observing. You're not re-traumatizing, you're observing. So know that as we go through things, we'll be doing some of that. And we'll get into the emotional regulation itself, saying safe and stable and having that foundation, having mental prowess. And there is something called envision that I learned from Colette Baron Reed that I cannot wait to share with you because it's powerful. Well, all of it is. It's just really hard to isolate. That's why I went crazy at first. But it's envision this spiritual, metaphysical way of really getting perspective on what's going on in your life. It's awesome. And then my specialty has been shadow work, but really discovering how to befriend the shadow and uh, what happens with triggering and why you get triggered, and what that shadow is actually doing for you. And so there's something called voice dialogue that is one of my favorites and most powerful. Um, we call it shadow tapping sometimes, but it's always about being the witness, the observer, and how we can deal with negative thoughts and feelings, and how you can actually move and change those thoughts so you can manifest. It's fabulous. And I've been going on for quite a while here because I want you to get everything. And I'm going to, hone these down so that they're not too long. Sometimes they have to be. And I'm hoping that, I don't want to hope, I want to say that I can bring people in and we can do some actual uh, tapping where you can see me take someone through a session and you tap along. So it'd be more like a group session where you can come in and be a part of it and tap along. And I've done that a lot with people, and I find that groups can be even more powerful because, first of all, we find out that we're not alone. We may not have all the same issues, but they come from the same place, and that the processes work. And so you can come on and comment and talk about what's going on. And if you're on the screen live, you can do it that way. So, I'll be figuring that out and what's going to work best, but I need to hear from you. Would you like to take part in something like that? Because this is where I'm going with it. And I'm just truly, truly, truly blessed to be here. And I want you to know that you are loved. I see your beauty and I see your light. Shine brightly.